I'm back. Welcome back to the table. Okay, so this took me a long time. I actually posted on Board Game Geek and nobody's responded yet. So I did get a response from the designer himself, in fact, that the way we treated scenario 1, meaning that we were able to get those free reinforcements, or we were able to use reinforcements, we were able to get free naval and airstrikes. All of that is exactly how you're supposed to play scenario 6. So he did confirm that, and so that also means that we weren't able to go after Suribachi right away either. We had to endure that little black fire coming down on us. And he also, I thought it was funny, he commented that I should have landed instead of just sitting here and floating. And I'm very curious to see what his thoughts were there, because if I would have landed here, this thing does 4 hits. I mean, it's got 2, these are considered units, those fortifications, and then it's got 2 more. That would be 4 hits on my units. And then because I'm next to this green, it would have been disrupted, and I wasn't ever allowed to undisrupt myself. I mean, that would have been just a death trap. But anyways, I was like, well, I did what I did. I'm sort of happy with how I handled it. But anyways, it was a good conversation. These fortifications, it's really interesting because somebody on Board Game Geek just almost flipped the table about this. I can sort of understand it. They're a little nebulous. But there's 2 things. The first one I want to point out is the artillery that we have. I said we get those every day, or every turn, and I was wrong. We get it every day, and it's in the morning. You get your artillery back. So remember I said it was use it or lose it. That part's all true. So what I did was I put the markers on. We've spent 3 points from the 5th division, 1, 2, 3, and we only have 4 left, even though we have 2 more turns. See, we're on the morning turn, right? And then we're going to go to the mid turn and then the evening turn. It's not until we go back to morning again that these artillery points replenish back to their level. So what you see there with the green is my artillery level that I get every day. And yes, it's use it or lose it, but it's not every turn. So that's a big change, probably a fair one. So we don't have quite as many artillery points as I thought, but it also means that having a lot of artillery points is very nice. So what I did was I marked, I know this says artillery used, and so technically speaking, I'm supposed to put it on the 3. I guess I can do that. And then I know I still have 4 more left, and then this one would go on 0 to show that I haven't used any yet. But we're going to use some right now. Okay, so these fortifications, what's the hang up with it? What's causing? The first thing to understand, and we talked about this a little bit during setup, is there's 3 types of fortifications. There's the kind that's on a hilltop that's black. There's the kind that's on a hilltop that's not black, which I think is this one. And then there's the kind that's just on black, okay? The ones that are just on black, you can see they just get a fortification and nothing else. And that's the same that you see here in this situation. And they're a position. They're not even a triangle, right? It's just a simple position. Then you have the non-black hilltops that get one. And when you get one of those, then it gets a unit along with it, right? And then the hilltop ones have a double fortification. One of them's a class 1, one's a class 2, and a depth and a marker. So the rule book later says that they get a depth and a marker. Here, I can even show you where it gets confusing. And it's a language. It's an English language issue. So step E here. The fort gains 1 unit in depth marker from the reserve pool if they are available. When? When do they get that? I have no idea. It's just bullet E. It's not like these are all tied together. And it's just considered a property of the marker. So when does it get that? And so I sat here and I hemmed and I hawed, and I wish that somebody on BGG would just answer me, because then it wouldn't be so hard. But what I think happens is this. We set it up according to the way I just explained. And as you can see, this one has 2 units on it. This one only has 1 unit on it. It doesn't even have an actual troop, but it is considered a unit for purposes of the game. I did confirm that the only way you can destroy these is you either have to close combat it or barrage it, and you can't do either until it's revealed. So that means you have to do a normal attack against it. It does have strength points that it contributes towards the normal attack, but it really doesn't do anything else. It does have sides on it. Here, let me show you one that is not in the game. So here's one that's not in the game, and you can see if I attacked it from that side with the little line there, that's actually prohibited. So I would actually get disrupted if I attacked from that, because remember, it's unrevealed. So we're going to have to reveal it. And if that was the angle I came from, then all kinds of bad things happen to me. If it's these other ones, then I'm okay. Now, Class 3 is the weakest fort, which is why you can see it's got a lot of ways to get it. And you can see the little ×2, so it's going to multiply any unit that's with it ×2. It does provide strength points to a battle. And I probably need to get those written down because they're in the rule book, and I got to go look it up again. But the distinction that I think I figured out, and part of what was confusing me, is, as you know, we were trying to approach this, right? Just approaching it is dangerous enough. This is a 3-strength position group because it's 2 units here and 1 unit there, and all 3 of them combine together to do 3 potential hits down here on the beach. It's like even there, they can hit 3 potential units, right? So when you attack them to reveal them, though, they immediately get reinforcements. That's what the rules, I think, are trying to say. And that makes these brutal. So you need to be ready, 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 Freddy. So this is the one I'm attacking right here. And so he's immediately going to get a unit and a depth marker. So he already has a unit. And the rules do say, like, if there was a unit over here, he would just move over. So we don't always go and grab from the reserve. But in this case, we are going to grab a depth marker from the reserve, and he gets it all. And so all 3 of them go with the fortification. Now, over here, this is a double fortification. And what ends up happening is the top one gets a unit and a depth marker, which it has. And then once the top one's destroyed, the bottom one gets his own unit and depth marker. But when you're attacking them, the bottom one does nothing. It's not involved in the attack. The top one is the only one you're fighting against. It's just that you think of it like layers of an onion. I think that's exactly how the designer worded it. I like that. It's layers of an onion. You're just attacking the top one at first, and then the bottom one is just another location within the same position, and then you attack that one later, okay? So the step is you have to reveal them, and you have to do that through a normal attack. Then after you reveal them, you have to destroy them through barrage or close combat. Now the units that are above, like the unit and a depth marker, they're just normal, just like any other position. If you can destroy them some other way, then great. But the fortification itself can only be destroyed through close combat and barrage. A level 1 fort, when it's destroyed, it turns into a level 2. And then when that's destroyed, it turns into a level 3. And it's only when you destroy the level 3 that it finally goes away. So very brutal, folks. It's very brutal. So this is a multi-day process to take this. So I may have been stupid to charge it like I just did. Because in doing so, I have all these units that are going to be reamed in fire because of this. Now, the one thing the designer pointed out to me, and this is where line of sight is actually going to work in our favor. Yes, you're hearing me say line of sight is good. Just this one time. He is basically letting us know that if this unit's disrupted, these units, or these positions over here, get reduced, even though this guy's full strength. Because remember, in the old D-Day games, if you've played the old D-Day games, as long as If this one's disrupted and that one's not, the entire position group still fires at full strength. And then what you would do is you would only count this for hits. And now it's, because this is disrupted, and remember, black fires even if it's disrupted, so that's what makes this a little wonkier. This one, his view is going to be reduced, while this guy's view is not. And this guy's view is anything around him and then possibly 2 squares away if there's no obstructions. And in this case, I think the reason he gets 2 squares away here is because this is a bluff, and so this is lower than the bluff. So we're like, we have elevation. And then same with this direction. He has elevation, so therefore he can go 2 spaces away. Okay, so does that make sense? So I had to grab a depth marker. We are attacking it with just a lowly 3 strength unit because I want to get him revealed. I don't care if we get disrupted with this guy. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add 3 artillery from our 5th, or I'm sorry, not the 5th Marine, but the 4th Marine Division. So 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, I'm just going to add 2 because then I'll have 3 left for the future. I'm going to do 2 to make it a 5 strength attack, so that way we don't get clobbered, right? So I do want to try to do something here. So we're going to reveal this, and here we go. It is a DE. Now, a demolition is actually pretty easy to meet, but this particular guy doesn't have it, so we don't have it. And it's a 5 strength attack against a 2. So 5 to 2 is the same as a 3 to 1. No, it's not quite 3 to 1. It's like 2.5 to 1, right? So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 to 1. I wish they told me what a 2.5 to 1, like, do I round up, round down? I need to... Every example they have always is perfect. Of course it's perfect. There's never fractions in their examples. It says, locate the line corresponding to numerical comparison of your attack. Cross-index that line with the column. It doesn't say what to do if I'm in the between them. So I'm at 2.5 to 1. So 3 to 2 is... Yeah, of course that's 1.5. So if I'm 2.5 to 1, that's better than 2 to 1, but it's not as good as 3 to 1. So which one do I use? That's the part I'm struggling with. I'm going to use the 2 to 1, and then we don't meet the weapons requirement, so now we drop to the 3 to 2. He's alone, and then there you see, no effect. That's what we get, is the no effect. So I use the worst outcome possible, and we got a no effect. Oh, he's not alone. Never mind. He's over here. It's a J/R. So the J isn't even listed here. Well, the R is real simple. That one is reveal the depth marker and recalculate the attack. So now the question is, what does J mean? JD is disrupted. See, it says J/R. So what does the J by itself mean? There's nowhere where J's by itself. Oh my gosh, how did we not run into this? We've been playing this for hours. I'm going to ignore it because you know what? The /R means we have to reveal and then do again. That's what this arrow means. So we're going to reveal and then we're going to go to this column over here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to reveal. And by the way, his strength is tripled. Never mind. Let's back up. Back up. We have 5 strength, but he's on a hill. He's a fortress. Remember? The fortress triples his strength. And this is a black position, not a hill. So the black position, not a hill, means it's not tripled. I got to look it up. I think it's doubled. Japanese units had their defense strengths tripled by a fort. A black hilltop fort triples it. All other locations are double. Okay. And so one other thing I forgot is we do reveal the fort. We have to do that right away. And the fort is going to reveal whether or not we get blocked. So here's the reveal. And see that little arrow here? Let me zoom in for you. See, there's this little arrow here. That always faces you, the player, this way. So in doing that, you can line it up and you can see that it's blocked here and it's blocked here, but our attack was fine. So we're fine. We're coming in. His strength is doubled, so that's a 4 and we're a 5. So it's not a 3-2 situation. It's a 5-4, which would be a 2.5-2. Which is that would be like a 1.25 to 1. So we're going to do the 1-to-1. Sorry, I got to zoom back out. So we'd be doing 1-to-1 basically. And it was an unrevealed depth marker, so it's J/R. It's actually the same. Oh no, we don't meet his conditions. So we move up, and so now it's AD, so American disrupted /R. So we got disrupted. That's the thing. So we are disrupted, and oh, what color? We're going to use the yellow side because the green is the undisrupted side. So no big deal. We knew that this guy was going to get disrupted. I mean, I know I used some artillery on this, but it was just so we could prevent them from getting even more bonuses. But I'm not even sure that was a smart move. I think the worst thing that could have happened to us is we just get disrupted and nothing else really happens. So, so anyways, I'm going to disrupt this headquarters here. And then it does get revealed, and then we go over again, and it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a no effect once he's revealed, but we do reveal it. So we will do that. And that's actually the advantage of the artillery, is we revealed it, whereas if we didn't have the artillery, it wouldn't have been revealed. I don't know if that's helpful, but holy cow, look at this thing. This is a bazooka. A flamethrower and naval guns are required, and it has a strength of 4, and it's on a fort that doubles his value. So that's an 8 strength depth marker there. Holy cow. This fort is stacked. Okay, so unfortunately, he's not disrupted. And here's what my thoughts were. Should I have not spent my artillery? Should I have attacked him and then used my artillery after I attacked him to try to barrage him? And I probably should have. That would have been a smarter move. And I just wasn't very smart in thinking about this. So it would have been nice to barrage him right now. And I don't think there's anybody alive that can barrage him at this point. There's some tanks and whatnot that are here, but I moved them there, you know, because remember, this was the big log jam of 2019. So yeah, I am going to remove some disruption markers because we're nearing the end of our turn. And the only thing that's left is I didn't forget we got to do this close combat over here. So let's do that. The unit itself, and then it's going to have a CC. And then we have 3, 4, 5 pips. So we get 1 card for that. And then 1 for flamethrower. And I think that's all we get. So it's a 2 versus 2. I don't like these odds. He goes first, and it's green. And of course he has a green, which makes it even worse for us. So we just took a step loss. And this is for the 4th division. And so this step loss goes into the casualty loss pool. And we lose our top card, which was a green. And then we go, and we do get a green, which is good because that's all we needed to kill him. So even though we took a step hit, he does get killed. And that one's out of the game. Now, we get disrupted. That unit that got hit gets disrupted. So we got to get a disruption marker for him. The rules say that only the ones that got hit get disrupted, so it's just him. And there we go. We finally took that green location. So everything is hunky-dory for that. So there you go. That was turn 7, but now artillery's coming. And it's coming every single turn. So I don't think it's fair that they get artillery and we don't. Well, I mean, we get points, but they get to use all their points every turn. So they do have to do that. And then they have to do a raid. The raid, I think we're going to be okay with. But let's do the artillery first, and then I'll explain the raid. Okay, so we start with Suribachi. It's still at its full 12 strength. We do have a unit that's in Sector 1 now. So that means 2/3 of his strength is going to be used here. So he can't attack Sector 2 with his full strength. So we reveal, and it's a divide by 10. So he has how much strength? He has 12 strength. So that means he has 8. And so we do 8 divided by 10. And we get 0.8. And it says round up to the nearest whole number. So 1 unit is going to get hit. And it's in here that they get hit. Now, it's interesting because HQs are immune, but I don't think the heavy weapons are. So we just have to pick one to get hit. And it's going to be the heavy weapons because the HQ is the other guy. So that was unfortunate, but it is what it is. So our heavy weapon guy is going to take a step loss. They do not get disrupted, by the way, from artillery. So he's fine there. So now 4 points are left over for barraging the Sector 2. Now, the Sector 3, we have the same deal. He's got units in Sector 3, so only 2/3 of Sector 3 are going in. So we got to take the 28 and divide it by 3, and that gives me 9 1/3 basically. And then I'm going to add the 4 points from Sector 1. We have 13 1/3, and so then we draw for Sector 2, and you can see it's a divide by 6. So that should be pretty easy math. That's going to be a 2 something. So yes, it's a 2, and we round down to the nearest whole number. So 2 units are getting hit. And now we got to figure out which 2. I have so many cards I made with notes that I'm now losing track of where they are. Okay, so beach landing box. These first 2 are skipped after turn 7. So closest to the airfield, closest to the leftmost black position. So it would be like this unit here, and this unit here. That's an HQ, so we can't hit the HQ. I think we can hit this disrupted unit. So I'm going to hit both of these, and so they're both down to 1 pip. So this one is down to 1 pip, and then the next one is down to 1 pip. Okay. So that's that part, and now we got to do the other one. So this one is 28 artillery strength divided by, because it's 2/3, so it's divided by 3 and then times 2. So I have 18 and 2/3, and then we get a divided by 6, and that's divided by 6, and that gives me a 3. And Sector 4 has to also help. So Sector 4 will send 1/3 of theirs, which is a 10. So that's going to be 3 more divided by 6, so it's only going to be an extra 1/2. So it's a 4 units are getting hit. So I need to take a quick break, take care of some things, and I'll come back and we'll do the 4 units and end this round. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.